Hello and welcome back to another One Piece video. So today I have Green Bonney for you guys. Um, Honestly, Green Bonney has always been floating around the top of the meta, but obviously now she gets outshined by some of the new decks that come out. So like Grape Luffy is really tough, and then now that we have blue purple Luffy as well, it's really hard for her to shine in the meta. But with the new starter decks that came out, she really got a lot more consistent. So you're able to run like a full supernovas package with the new Kid and Killer, and then also being able to have another blocker other than Rosinante that's searchable as well to play off of Kid is super nice. And then Law and Beppo, I think this card is slept on just because being able to rest one of your opponent's troublesome bodies and also pump your leader to 7 is actually very defensive, and it makes Bonney so tanky, especially if you have like a Smoker or a Cavendish developed. You're able to restand your Dawn as well, and then you're a 7k leader and you're able to rest something as soon as they swing into you. It makes Bonney a really tough leader to deal with. So the list is pretty standard. I think there's no really like surprises in here. It's basically just 4 searchers or 8 searchers with the new Kid and Killer, and then just like running Basil Hawkins and X Drake, the new 2Ks that came in the starter deck. Just because I think a Roge is really good, just because he's able to help you be Dawn efficient. And Dawn efficiency is the name of the game right now, just because purple is so strong in the meta. You want to be able to keep up with their ramped Dawn as much as you can, and a Roge really helps you do that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the list. Let's just hop over to some gameplay and then I'll show you guys how this deck runs. Okay, so first game I got for you, we're going to be going up against Buggy. I think Buggy is a very strong contender for one of the stronger decks this format, just because surprisingly when the cards were announced in his starter pack, a lot of people were underwhelmed. But being able to test against Buggy, he is very strong if you're not able to remove his bodies, especially with the new SR Croc and the Alvida that came in the starter deck. He's able to draw so much and able to filter so much that his leader ability is not that draining on his resources. And so I was able to develop in a Rouge here, and then the following turns I'll be able to develop like Cavendish, Tashigi, and then we'll be working from there. So I'm only poking in 5s because the name of the game is just resources in this matchup. Yeah, late game, he's going to be able to drop like his 10 drop buggies over and over again. And it's really up to us to try to starve him of resources wherever possible. And I know that some buggies run like Gravity Blade. And so I don't want to play into that. So I start off with a 5k swing here. 5k swings are really good against Buggy because if you swing too tall, he'll obviously just take it. But swinging in these 5k bodies, he's almost inclined to counter out of these, just because taking a 5k swing feels really bad, especially going towards the late game. So yeah, I just develop a Cavendish and Tashigi here. Obviously not going to be swinging in with my Rouge. And then the good thing about Bonney is her leader ability actually counters Buggy in a sense that I'm able to rest down like his Alvida and then start pressuring cards out of his hand that way if he chooses to defend her. So here I just rest the Alvida and I take the swing. I'm not too scared of pudding just yet, just because I know he wants the leader ability every turn, and if he plays down the pudding, he won't be able to leader ability. So yeah, knowing that, I just take these 2 swings here, and then hopefully next turn we will be able to develop this kid. It's gonna be really hard for him to deal with. So yeah, here it's probably just gonna be a kid play, playing down the kid, and then probably swinging in with the Cavendish, hoping that he'll give us cards out of hand here. So I swing in 6 here. I debated swinging in with the TCG, but then we'd be punished really hard with a Red Rock and also his 10-drop Buggy. And the good thing about TCG is that the 10-drop Buggy cannot touch our kid unless he gets rid of this TCG first. So him blocking with the Kabahi there tells me that he's probably running low on counter, and so I just swing in with the Arouge. And then I try to drop the Kitten Killer here to find another 2K, but he ends up whiffing. And it's not a big deal just because with the Arouge, we're able to play with all of our Dawn and then also restand one Dawn at the end of our turn. So realistically, he's only going to have one tall swing this turn. And we should be able to counter out of it unless he uses his whole turn to get rid of the kid. That would be good as well because we have another kid as a backup. And yeah, you can already see that in this matchup, if you can turn one of his body sideways, just crank into it as much as you can, just because Buggy, even though he draws a lot, he has a hard time defending his bodies if you get multiple swings into it. And that's really how you beat them. You really just want to swing into his bodies, drain resources. And then obviously TCG really helps us win this matchup. So I think here he's on his 9 Dawn turn, meaning that he should be able to drop down a big Buggy if he wants, but then that means that he only has 4 Dawn to work with afterwards. So with the Buggy here, obviously he should have just bottom decked the TCG. Yeah, definitely a misplay on his part there. And then swinging in 9 into the kid, we're just going to rest his other 7K blocker there, or 7K swing, and then give him a 2K. Yeah, and with 2 Dawn up, he definitely won't be able to pressure us too much. And then this is why I like the Law and Beppo so much, because now even though he has a 10-drop on board, it doesn't really matter. We're just going to freeze him. And then thanks to the Cavendish, we're still able to get a Dawn on our kid and just forcing him to have an answer for him. So I just pressure a 6 at life here. He actually counters, so I'm just going to start going at his board. Because at this point, really, if we deal with his board and leave his Buggy frozen, he's not going to be able to really play the game. So here, swinging in a 9 at the 7 as well. And then this turn, I decided to leave the Arouge standing just because his only real play is to pump up his like Croc and Mihawk and then swing into the kid. And yeah, it's gonna be really hard for him to deal with our board here. So then swinging in 10 at the kid, just gonna rest down the Alvida. Giving him a 2 and a 1, and then he just scoops it up here. So I think even if he didn't misplay last turn and was able to drop the Buggy this turn as well, he would be able to clear the kid, but the following turn he'll just have absolutely no cards in hand, and we would be able to just clear his board and leave him at 0 cards besides his life. So yeah, this really just highlights that Bonney is still a very strong deck. Even though Buggy is very strong himself, Bonney's still able to hang on this format. All right, so next match I got for you is going to be against Purple Yellow Pudding. And this deck obviously is very strong in a sense that she's able to ramp super consistently and also drop like big moms. over and over again in the later stages of the game. And so here, I think I just drop the Kid and Killer and swing in 6 at lead. Yep. Yeah, and the good thing about Kid and Killer is that he's able to trash himself, or they're able to trash themselves, and then give us an active Dawn. So this is a huge misplay on his part. Swinging in 5 with the Pudding first allows us to trash the Kid and Killer and then rest his leader. And I think this is where the game is pretty much over, because him doing that, I know he was trying to play around triggers, but at the same time, you need to make sure that your leader can swing. And Kid and Killer really surprises people off guard because he's one of the new cards, and he's able to restand a Dawn on your opponent's attack there. So yeah, him not being able to ramp there should be able to secure us the game. And then he learned from last turn, obviously swing with the leader first. So that means that I don't think Kid and Killer needs to sack himself anymore, just because at 6 Dawn, yeah, he's just going to be playing the 6-drop category there. And here, yeah, probably just a smoker into Rosinante play. And then I decide not to swing here just because I knew that he has a category in life. I didn't want to give him an answer, or not an answer. I didn't want to give him the category so that he can answer our board. And so here, I just decide to play it slow, and we should be able to pressure him pretty hard. And I believe I just start with a 5k swing with lead. Okay, I actually see the line here, so I do Hody Jones first. Not sure why I did that. I think I wanted to rest the category knowing that I'm going to... Okay, I see, yeah, because we wanted to restand Dawn. And so I'm probably just going to restand 1 Dawn and then stun his category with our carrot. Yeah, and then now the being able to rest down like her leader or Lin is not too big of a problem anymore. Because if he were to swing in, obviously we can just counter out of the 5k swing from the Pudding. Yeah. So a 5k swing here goes in. I contemplated taking this because if he drops a 10 drop the yellow Lin, then we would counter the sense that she would trash our life. But the only issue is if she had like a purple Lin, we would be in trouble, right? Because we would then have to counter out of a 12k swing, which obviously we could not. So here, I think we have enough Dawn to pressure all of his life here. And I actually missequenced here. So I should not have Smoker banished the Katakuri, just because knowing that he's a brick, we should have pressured like another character to get that life. But yeah, nonetheless, we still swing in here, start going for board. Yeah, I can't imagine we play down the kid because I don't think we survive next turn. So I go in for an 8. And then I think at this point, it should just be like a 10-11, right? I was trying to calculate whether we would live or not. And if I played down the kid and he swung into the kid super heavy, and he split his Dawn efficiently, we probably would have been cooked the following turn. So Yeah, it looks like he did have the purple linen in hand, and so if we took that 5k swing earlier, we probably would have been cooked. All right, so last match I got for you is going to be against Green Yellow Law, and Green Yellow Law is getting really popular again. He's finding major success in the East, and I think that, I mean, this leader in general is very cool. You can pull off like a lot of cool combos with him, and I'm seeing like a lot of people in the West playing him a lot more. So going first, he just drops the Kitten Killer, and then we're able to swing 5 first, and then drop our own Kitten Killer as well. So I debated grabbing the Law and Peppo here, but I think I just grabbed the Cavendish. The reason being is because if you're able to develop Cavendish and Smoker and then follow up with the Kid, it's pretty much wraps. It's too much pressure for your opponent to deal with, and also if they do deal with your Kid, your Cavendish and Smoker is just going to apply too much pressure. So he swings in 6 here. I believe I just rest down the Luffy here, yeah, because if I swing into the Kitten Killer, he can just trash himself. But yeah, I play down the Cavendish because the Cavendish is gonna get recurring value when she swings. And yeah, I decided not to leave up a Dawn here because Green Yellow Law doesn't really have any rush characters at this point, and it'd be really, I think it would be wasteful to use the rest ability on the Kitten Killer because he's able to trash himself again. Yeah, so luckily for us, he's not able to put down like a really strong Supernova. Instead, he uses the X Drake to try to rest down our Cavendish and swing 8 into it. So here I'm able to now punish him thanks to the Kitten Killer. We're able to restand one of our Dawn and then rest down his Bonney here. And then obviously we're going to counter out of that one. And then Cavendish probably going to be swinging 6 into the Bonney here. Yeah, and then he lets him go. Smart move on his end. I think I just swing in... Okay, yeah, I swing in 7. I'm probably just going to be playing down the Kitten Killer here. Or the Beige. Okay, that's fine as well. Yeah, I totally forgot. I didn't use the Smoker ability yet, so we're still able to stand up one Dawn there. So he answers with a Cavendish of his own, and then playing down the Luffy here. But we are in a pretty scary spot because, I mean, even though he's at 1 life, he has, I think, like 11 cards in hand. And if he's able to really combo off and defend his life really efficiently, we're pretty much cooked, right? So, yeah, the following turns, we really need to pressure his life as much as we can here, or like his resources. But yeah, I think in the next following turns, we would be able to pressure out a lot of cards in his hand. Just because looking at his hand, he doesn't have any 2Ks. And we would be able to block with the Beige here and rest down his Cavendish. But yeah, I think next turn, obviously, that Smoker was going to banish his life and then forcing him to give us either 3 cards or like all of his counter, or he just loses the game, right? But yeah, I mean, either way, I think Bonney is still a very solid pick in this format. I think maybe better tech cards could be chosen for like Blue Purple Luffy, but I think Blue Purple Luffy isn't going to be as oppressive anymore, considering stuff like Purple Black Luffy got buffed really hard, and then Buggy also is a very strong pick into him, so he might not be as prevalent as he was before, but we'll see as this format goes out. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.